up guys, hope you are doing well. Today we are on the BMW X4 launch. So if you don't know what the X4 is, it's the coupe version of the X3. So you know, with all these SUVs nowadays, you can get the standard kind of SUV styled hatch shape, and then the coupe version, which is generally the more like sportier kind of version. So yeah, we're in Natal. It's actually been quite nice because I didn't have to get on a red-eye flight this morning and go anywhere. Just met these guys for breakfast at 8:30 at the Oyster Box, and then we've been driving inland through the beautiful Midlands. Yeah, and we're heading to lunch. So we're currently in the 20D model, and I don't know, a lot of people didn't like the first sort of version of the BMW X4, but I think they've definitely improved the look with the second one. It's a lot more sleek, edgy, a lot more sporty. I think it looks really nice. The interior was also great. You've got to remember, it's very similar to a BMW X3. It's only really the exterior that has changed. They do say that they've widened the track and made the wheelbase a bit longer, so it has a bit more of a sporty feel. So guys, we just had lunch at the beautiful Carcliffe Safari. So before we were in the X4 20D, the diesel motor. It was very smooth. It was very nice to drive, very comfortable. You can get a sort of a feel of the more sportier sort of setup with the wider track. I did sort of feel as we climbed in the higher RPM gauges, there wasn't much there. There wasn't much power there. So it's definitely the kind of car you want to go for if you're just looking for your highway driving, your cruising. You know, you're not looking for any kind of speed or excitement, you could say. But now, right behind me here is the X4 M40i, which is going to be very, very nice to drive. It's got the BMW's performance engine, the 3-litre. X4 M40i, and as you can probably hear, I hope you can hear, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Me and Justin have just been driving now through these lanes and really enjoying it. So 265 kilowatts, made a mistake earlier, and about 500 newton meters, and it's just it's wonderful. We stuck behind a truck now, so we're gonna have to wait, but we can't figure out if there's a bit of sound piped into the cabin, because it sounds absolutely fantastic. And it's quick. It's obviously quick, but it's not GLC 63 quick. We're gonna have to wait for the X4M for that. But it's definitely quick. Really nice and responsive. Great in the bends, and the power, it just seems to run all the way to 7,000 RPM. So yeah, I think if you're a person that's got a family, you need space. Maybe that's why you bang an SUV. But you're the kind of person that might be like me or Justin or whoever who likes speed and performance, then you can have both, which is I think why these cars are made, because it gives you the option of being in a big car, giving you the space and all the comforts that comes with, but also being able to enjoy yourself. It doesn't feel like we're in an SUV. It's planted very well, and the X-Drive system works really cool. Forever. And then you get the pops and bangs when you come off as well, which also sounds amazing. But this is the way the world seems to be going, eh? Fast SUVs. We were just talking about it now. Like, there's not really, is there a point to them? I don't know. Everyone's got their own opinions. Maybe you think it's pointless. Why have a fast SUV? But for people like us, we think they're great. Guys, I've jumped out of the driver's seat of the X4 M40i, sadly, because I was having a great time. Justin's now driving. Yeah, it's really, we've been talking about it the whole day, and I mentioned it earlier, like, how much of a point is there to this car? And we were saying, if maybe there's a bit of a fight in the parentship of the family, where one person, could be the male or the female, wants a performance car and the other one wants a family car, and that kind of brings both of these together. But it's more importantly, like, do you buy an X3 or do you buy an X4? Like, what's the big differentiator? And to be honest, there isn't one. If we're going to get into the technicalities of it all, the X4 has actually got a 30mm wider track, and it's like 6 mils lower, and the wheelbase is also a little bit longer. So in essence, it gives you a bit of a more sportier performance feel, and it's also styled that way. It's definitely more the sportier kind of looking between the two. But quite frankly, everything else is really the same. The interior is the same. The interior is great. This leather we've got here is lovely. Nice chunky steering wheel. BMW's latest iDrive system with the individual tiles, which works really, really nicely. Wireless charging, Apple CarPlay, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like there's not much difference between these two cars. The biggest thing to me is the styling. And while the technicalities of it maybe are set up to be more of a sporty vehicle, you're really not going to see the difference too much when you're driving on a public road. And that's just how I view things. But overall, talking about it as a package and as a vehicle, very, very nice. I remember when I drove the first X3 back in Cape Town with Cisco, and we were just blown away by how comfortable and smooth it was. The M40i obviously isn't as comfortable. Even in comfort mode, you still got a bit of that engine noise, and it's quite firm. It's got the M Sport suspension, but then you make your choice. Do you want to go with a 2-litre diesel or petrol and have a nice highway cruiser, really nice comfortable car, or are you looking for something that's a little bit more exciting? For all out performance, you're going to have to wait for the X4 M and the X3 M, and those cars will really kind of bring the challenge to the GLC 63, which we love so much here at the Motors, because it's just so blisteringly fast and kind of pointless. But people are buying pointless cars, so you can't complain. The numbers do the talking. But yeah, end of the launch, heading back now to where we started this morning. So thanks for watching, guys. Check out our other videos, subscribe and like if you did like it. Tell us what you think. Would you buy X3 or X4 in the comments? See you next time.